Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Yo, what's good, y'all? We back again, man, with another In the Car Chronicles. Y'all already know what I need y'all to do in this video right here, man. Turn this video up like the rest of them, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe to y'all. Let's go. But we're gonna call this story right here today, Looking Out Has Limits. And it does, man, because I'm telling you, man, people be feeling like they're entitled to your stuff. That's how prison is, man. So that's why you never should come, man. But we on Sussex 2 for this one, y'all. And I can remember being in 4 building, man. And this was around the time, man, when I had a little play going on, man. Had a little motion, man. Had a little situation. Had a little something going on, man. Like, you know, somebody like me, I told y'all, man, it was getting to the point in there where I always was trying to get some money. Like, that was the whole key. That's what kept my bid going. That's what made me want to wake up in the morning and continue on doing the bid. Like, knowing that I'm going to try to make some money. I'm going to try to get some lala. I'm going to try to have a lot of commissary from making this money. That's all I used to want to do in there. I ain't going to lie to y'all, man. Like, it was just to a point in there that, you know, when Mom Deuce used to look out and send me, it just wasn't enough. Like, I appreciated it. And I wasn't somebody that was like, man, like, I need more. Like, I never done that. I told myself that, you know what? I put myself here. I'm a grown man, so I have to take care of myself, man. This is what I have to do, man. So, like, I can remember a situation, man, where when I was in 2 building, man, a dude that hooked me up with somebody, man, he ended up hooking me up with somebody. And she was from the Tidewater area. I ain't gonna lie, man. And she was a good girl. I ain't gonna lie. Like, me and her was cool. We vibe cool. It was like my lucky day to get hooked up the way I got hooked up, because bro he just let me get on the jack and I ended up getting in with somebody. So I'm talking to her for a minute. As soon as I started talking to her, I ended up catching a bad urine case, man. I went to the hole, man. You go to the hole for them joints, man. So when my junk came back dirty, I went to the Bing. So when I went to the Bing, when I get out, I got 6 months loss of visitation. Man. So I had to figure something out, man. Like, you know, getting out of the hole, coming in 4D. Like, I was happy to come in 4 building. Now I'm finally in 4 building. It was feeling good. And I was trying to make stuff happen, but it was like, you know, everybody was in there doing them. So it was like, I couldn't really get in nobody's car, and I really didn't want to. I wanted my own situation, you know what I mean? But I just didn't have a way of making my own situation, but I will always stumble across something, man. So I'm sitting in the room just thinking, like, what could I do? So the girl I used to talk to, I always used to write her, and me and her always have conversations, you know what I mean? We'll just talk about different things, and she always would say she'll step up to the plate if I ever needed her to, man. But I told y'all, I was scared to go to the visiting room and get that pack. I wasn't doing it, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. Sussex 2 was a whole new ball game. Like, that junk was like, man, you got to be a magician. You got to be a magician to go in there and get that, man. So I definitely wasn't trying it, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, man. I wasn't doing it, but you had people that used to, man. People definitely still went over to the visiting room and still got that pack. So I never wanted to do that, man. So when me and Shorty used to talk about, you know what I mean, what she would do or whatever the case, man, like, I had to figure out a plan. But that's when I ran into my homeboy, man, and my homeboy used to work the support building, and that's when we came up with a plan for me to be able to get a little couple dollars, man. But for me to be able to get a couple dollars, man, I ended up putting my homeboy that was from Norfolk in the car, man. We're gonna call him Tom. Now, my homeboy Tom, he was a cool dude, you know what I mean? He used to rock with me the whole time I moved in there. Like, me and him broke bread with each other. And he didn't have a situation, but he was getting into another situation from his homeboy in 1 building. And when he used to get his, he's definitely used to look out. So when this situation came, you know what I mean, I said, I'm definitely going to put him in the car. So my man told me that, look, man, look, I can make it happen, man. Look, just get the joint here in the non-contact area, and I'm going to make sure I get the joint when I go clean up. Like, I'm going to put tape all on at the bottom, and I'm going to make sure I get the joint. So I end up putting that play together. So when I put that play together, that's when the work started coming through. You know what I mean? All Shorty girl had to do was just come see me in the non-contact and just put it right there. She didn't have to pass nothing off to me to nut. So that play started going smooth. I ain't even gonna lie, man. Me and my man started striking. Like, all we had to do was get my man a quarter out the jank. You know what I mean? That's all he wanted. We used to get a zip, and we used to get him a quarter. Me and bro would split the rest. Now, that don't seem like a lot, you know what I mean? But, you know, we got one person doing this. We ain't trying to, like, get her toe off by coming with a bunch of stuff. So we was content with that. We making a few dollars, a little 200 here, commissary, you know what I mean? We doing good. We slow grinding. Like we appreciative of having a plate. A lot of people ain't got nothing going on, so we won't even tripping about just getting a zip, y'all, and gapping it. You know what I mean? It was enough for everybody, man. And when you ain't greedy, you be the one that lasts the longest, y'all. So boom. So my homeboy, me and him was doing good. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Me and him was doing good. We was doing good in the joint. Everybody buying from us, man. Used to have other people in there that used to strike, but we doing us. We got the la too, and our la come on the weekend, but we'll throw everybody off and pop up on Monday or Tuesday with it, just for people went and figure out what we was doing. Because it won't like we was going to the visiting room and getting it on the weekend, and people can try to put 2 and 2 together. Nah, I won't never like that. Our junk used to probably come on that Saturday or Sunday, but we were late to that Monday or Tuesday, just to be petty. You know what I mean? But that's how we was trying to spin everybody, man. But we had a good little run with that junk. I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, we was doing good with that junk, man. And for real, like, everything was straight, man. Like, everything be straight all the way up until, man, I can remember one day I had got on the phone with the girl. You know what I mean? So I'm talking to the girl, and the way she said it, this what made me feel like it wasn't gonna be good in the future, because it's the way she said it, though. She was like, look, I ain't say everything, but look, I think my cousin might be about to come up there with y'all. I was like, your cousin? She was like, yeah, I got an older cousin. She was like, yeah, I think he about to be coming up there with y'all, but like, I told him that, you know what I mean, I be talking to a guy from Norfolk up there, and, you know, I just, you know, I told him, you know, I said, what else you tell him? She was like, I ain't tell him nothing like that. I told him that I'd be messing with a dude from Norfolk, getting a little money with a dude from Norfolk. So I'm like, when she said that, I already knew that she probably exposed the business, man. You know, but this isn't cell phone activity that we talking on the phone. We talking on the wall phone right here, man. Like, you can't be exposing the whole operation on the wall phone, shorty girl. So boom. I said, I know you told him about the operation over the phone. She was like, nah, I ain't do that. Nah, I ain't say that. I just said I was getting money. So, you know, I gave her the benefit of the doubt, man. But, you know, if you got a cousin coming up here, it's all right, you know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, who your cousin? She was like, we're going to call him Fred. I'm like, Fred? You know what I mean? So I'm trying to think of a Fred from their city or somebody that I ran across. But, you know, he wasn't on Sussex 2. So I probably wouldn't know him if he was on Sussex 2, because I wasn't from their city. And Sussex 2 is still partly new. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I've been up there a little second, but, you know, I haven't been nowhere else to really know nobody else like that from other cities. So I didn't know dude, you know what I mean? So I'm like, Fred. She was like, nah, you might not know him because he older. She was like, he in his 30s. So I'm like, all right. She was like, yeah, he been down already like 10 years. So I'm like, oh, okay, all right. She was like, yeah, he got locked up when I was young. And, you know, he still be talking to my moms. You know, I be talking to him, you know. So, you know, he a family member, So, you know, I think she was like, so, you know, I told him I be coming up there, So I'm like, man, she not getting the whole operation. So I won't tripping. So I went back and told my homeboy, man, you know what I mean? I went back and told Tom what was going on. Tom was like, man, so what? He come up here, let me. I was like, bro, it don't mean nothing. I'm just letting you know ahead of time that shorty girl said her people's coming up here. So I was like, you already know how dudes is. Like, I haven't been in situations like this, but I have seen people in these same similar situations where somebody that they know from another camp comes up there and they see a guy getting the money. It might not be the same scenario as like, yo, I'm talking to his peoples, but like, they'll still feel entitled of like, yo, look out for me, do this and do that. Like, I knew how to play chess in there, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, Norfolk was filled with maniacs. Norfolk is one of the roughest cities in Virginia. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of dudes that's from Norfolk that's locked up. Me coming in as the guy I was, being a part of the new generation, a younger dude from Norfolk, it was impossible for me to know all the maniacs. So I had to get acquainted with the maniacs. Now, everybody is not worth getting acquainted with, but even if you're from Norfolk or not, but majority of them are. And like, when you get acquainted with these dudes, you're going to see that a lot of these dudes ain't got no way of getting no motion. So when you end up having something going on, like, it ain't that you scared and you got, no. I used to always make sure I give somebody something that I at least talk to. If I talk to you, you can get at least a feezy. You know what I mean? Now, if that's not enough for you, then what you want me to do? Like, somebody else giving you a free feezy? I'm giving you a free feezy. Like, if I give you a free feezy, that means, like, next time, let me come spend some money with bro, then I know, yeah, that's business, because that's how I do. If somebody throw me something for free, I'm going to come back and spend some money, regardless if you're from Norfolk or not. You know what I mean? I think that's just good business. So that's how I would carry a lot of the psychos in there from my town. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that, like, I was scared. It's just, bro, you got to know how to play chess. If you want to be able to enjoy getting money in penitentiary, man, you got to know how to keep everybody happy in that joint, y'all. So, boom. Now, you could be the dude like, man, I don't care. I'm going to just goon out on my junk. I'm going to get the knife and be prepared for anything. I ain't giving, you can do that. But see if you're gonna be able to ever like get money in peace. See, I got money in peace. Nobody never tried to rob me. Nobody never tried to do no BS to me, man. Yeah, somebody stole, but nobody ever physically tried to do any maniac stuff to me because they already know I won't go off the top. And for real, nobody would even let nobody do that. Everybody rock with Weezy. I'm telling you, man. So like, that's how I used to move around, man. You gotta know how to move around like that. So that's how I'm moving around with this pack. The building is filled with psychos from Norfolk. But if I rock with you and we talking, I'm gonna always make sure I look out. Now this goes back to you. Now, if you ever get a situation and you end up like, yo, I'm gonna get something Weezy, and you don't throw Weezy nothing, and then Weezy gonna remember, and then next time Weezy gets something, you will get nothing, my friend. So boom, just remember that. So that's how I carried it, man. So I'm in that joint moving like that. My homeboy Tom, we looking out for dudes, we getting money. It's all love. You can't be a millionaire in there, man. Everybody want to be a millionaire. They never made it to being a millionaire, man. It's impossible because you got to trust people on the street to hold your millions. And that's impossible, man. So like, that never was my vision. I'm surviving in that joint, man. So that's what I'm doing. So her saying that her people's coming up there, it ain't really bothering me like that, but I already know how dudes are. But still though, I'm gonna see how Fred carried, yo. I'm gonna give Fred the benefit of the doubt. So I can remember being on the yard, and this was in the middle of the week. So we on the yard. And I hear a dude say, yo, Weezy, hey, Weezy, hey, look, man, somebody calling you, man. He on yard 1. We on yard 2. He was like, dude, on yard 1. He said he looking for Weezy. I was like, who is he? He was like, man, some kind of tall, brown-skinned dude. I'm like, tall, brown-skinned dude? He a little taller than you. You know, you don't know him for such and such. They call him Fred. I'm like, oh. I was like, my homeboy Tom was right there. I said, yo, that's old girl cousin. He was like, where he at? In one bit, I was like, yeah, what's up with him? What's good? He was like, man, holler at him. He said, holler at him. I'm like, holler at him? What do you mean holler at him? Like, we through the gate. Like, I can't scream that far. What do you mean? How I'm gonna holler that far? He was like, nah, I don't think that's what he mean. I don't think that's what he mean. I'm like, what do he mean? He was like, he just was like, man, tell Weezy. I said, holler at me, man. He said he put it like that. I was like, tell Weezy. I said, holler at me, man. I'm like, bro, I don't know what that mean, man. I said, man, tell bro send me a kite, man. Tell bro send me a kite, man. I don't know what holler at him mean, man. I ain't even meet this guy yet, man. Who he think he is, y'all? So boom. So me and Tom tripping, because we had just hit the la-la. We on the yard like, yo, dude, talking about holler at him. Like, I can't even see who he is. Like, he's that far from me. Like, I can't even see who he is, y'all. Now, if I was on that middle ball field, then yeah, I would be able to walk to his yard and talk through the fence, but I can't see who this guy is. So what the hell you mean holler at him? I promise y'all I ain't know what that mean, man. Me and bro was traveling like, man, bro wilding, so they end up letting him off the yard. You know, he couldn't get to where we was at. We couldn't get to where he was at, so I couldn't, like, what you want me to do? So we go to dinner. Going to the second chow hall. We coming from 4 building way. We passing the first chow hall on the left. We got to go through the little gate. We gonna hit the second chow hall. As we get ready to pass the first window, I see a dude at the window, man. And when I walk by, like, his face was like, and that's what made me double take, because we walking, and I look, his face was like, and then as I'm moving my face, I seen his hand going like, but I kept walking this way, and I guess the people that was behind me, he was pointing like, get him. So I was like, it was like Weezy. I was like, yo, they was like, yo, dude at the door wants you. I'm like, who? They was like, dude at the door. I was like, hold on, bro. So I back up, and I go back to the door. It's the dude with the face. So I'm like, what's up, bro? He was like, what's up, family? I'm like, what's up, who you, bro? He was like, I'm Fred. I'm like, oh. I pound him up through the glass, you know what I mean, through the door jar. I'm like, oh, what's up, bro? What's good? He was like, what's up, man? He was like, yeah, man, my cousin told me you was up here, man. Yeah, I'm trying to catch you, man. He was like, they got me in 1 building, man. I told him I'm trying to move. I'm trying to get the 4 building. I'm like, yeah, that's where I'm at, though, man. He was like, yeah, I know. Yeah, his face was like that, like, that's how his face was, y'all. He was like a maniac. His face was like this, like he basically said, yeah, I know, nigga. I was like, yeah, I'm in 4 building, bro. That's where I'm at. He was like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I know where you at, man. I'm trying to get down there, man. I was like, yo, I mean, you might gotta holler at such and such. He was like, yeah, man. He was like, man, look, man, holler at me, man. Please, man, I just got up here, man. Try hurting Weezy, man. Look, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get something. I'm like, yo, be easy, bro. He was like, oh, my fault, man, my fault. Lady was like, come on, white. I'm like, yo, look, just come outside in the morning, man. I said, we got the big yard. Wherever y'all got, just come outside, man. You know what I mean? He was like, all right, so I'm gonna holler at you. I go back in the chow hall. Tom like, yo, He was like, man, dude looks super worse. I said, man, who you telling? I said, man, that nigga look like a fucking maniac, man. Man, that nigga was brown skin. Man, that nigga had the naughty beard with the gray in it right here. Like, he only had gray, like, right here. This was the only gray, but his beard was naughty as shit. The nigga had the little gray in his beard right there. Nigga bald head, nigga kind of slim nigga, but a little taller than me. But, like, he just looked like he goddamn, you know what I mean? Nigga, a maniac. Nigga like a maniac in the goddamn face. So I'm like, what the fuck? So you know what I mean? I tell bro, like, yo, man, I hope bro don't be no psycho. I was like, then he talking about he want to come to Faux building. He was like, oh yeah, he trying to get down his junk. He trying to get down. You already know why he trying to get down here, because we got to work. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, man, like, for real. I was like, man, like, it's old girl peoples, you know what I mean? So I was like, when we strike, I don't mind looking out for him. But I'm like, that just got to be what it's going to be, though. You know what I mean? So we going to let him know. So we like, all right. So we won't even tripping on it. He won't down there. So when we went outside the next morning, man, this is my word. That man was outside waiting. He was at the basketball court waiting, looking for, I could see him at the gate, waiting for our building to come on the yard. He was at the gate waiting, like, we walked to the joints. I'm walking up, he right there. I see him like, what's up, man? He was like, what's up, family? What's good, family? He like, what's good, family? What's good, family? I'm like, bro, everything good, though. I was like, what's up, man? I got something for you, man. So you ready? He was like, yes, I got it right here on the rubber band on the rock. He was like, all right, throw it over. I was like, all right, look. I said, what the lady in the tower doing up there? He was like, you good, you good. I was like, launched that Jane over the fence, you know what I mean? He grabbed a jump, boom. He was like, what's this? I was like, bro, it's a spoon, man. I was like, you know what I mean? I said, you know, we waiting to get something else. You know what I mean? He was like, yeah, I know. He was like, yeah, look, appreciate you, man. I just needed something, man. I just needed something to get me off E, man. Yeah, cousin, man. My cousin told me you good peoples, man. Yeah, man. How y'all meet, man? So I tell him, you know what I mean? Me and him do a little small talk. He was like, yeah, man, look, good look. I'm about to slap my homeboy. We gonna melt. I'm like, all right. He was like, man, I appreciate your family, man. I appreciate you, man. I was like, man, you good. So he went about his business, you know what I mean? So he went about his business. I went about my business, man. But like, in the back of my mind, I kind of just still thinking though, like, man, like, I hope I didn't create a monster with this free feezy I gave him, man, because I told y'all, man, these dudes like him, like, I was praying for it not to be, but a lot of dudes like him be having high expectations on how you supposed to play fair and look out. And I never thought that's supposed to be a way you're supposed to think, man. You're supposed to get your own stuff going on. Like, as long as you ain't doing nothing dirty, y'all see, I ain't do nothing wrong. I could have ducked him and be like, yo, bro, I ain't got nothing, bro. I don't know. I could have said anything. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? But still though, I kept it 100. See, these dudes I be talking about in the stories that be trying to duck me and do stuff. I don't do stuff like that. Like, you gotta keep it fair in penitentiary. This isn't y'all be thinking about rules that the street. No, you ain't gotta. No, listen, in penitentiary, yes, you do. You're not gonna be my celly and spin me. No, you can't do that. That's not gonna work, man. I don't like, I mean, you gonna spin me? That's up to you. But it's not gonna work out in your favor either way. Y'all know I'm a maniac, man. But like, right here though, man, I'm doing the right thing. I'm trying to look out. I'm trying to make sure her cousin's straight. You know what I mean? And that's what it was. So I finally talked to her. So when I talked to the girl, that's when I let her know, like, yeah, your cousin up here. You know what I mean? You know, I looked out for him and everything already. Everything straight. You know what I mean? I was like, he came up this joint. I ain't even gonna lie. I was like, yo, he a little worrisome. Like, he gave me like a little worrisome vibe a little bit. She was like, for real? She was like, yeah, he always been aggressive like that. I was like, what he in here for? She was like, he unalived somebody back in the day. She started telling me the story. So I'm like, for real? He is a psycho. She was like, yeah. She was like, but he cool though. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, so he be calling you too? She was like, he be calling my mom. She was like, that's how I talked to him. You know what I mean? She was like, so you looked out? I was like, yeah, I looked out for him. I made sure I did something for him. You know what I mean? On the strength of you. You know what I mean? She was like, yeah, I appreciate that. Because he probably was going to be asking, being worse. I said, nah, you told him that we was getting money up this junk, man. I said, so you basically created a monster. She was like, nah, because he ain't going to be like that. He ain't in your building, right? I'm like, nah, he ain't in my building. She was like, well, you good then. So, you know, we had a little talk about it, and I couldn't be too mad because she about to come through again this week. So I let it go. Man, I promise you, man, that next day roll around, man. I'm in the bed asleep. I mean, that junk knocked out, y'all. I'm talking about I'm sleeping good. This was one of them junks I had took a nap. You know what I mean? After morning rec, you know what I mean? They doing the 10:30 count. You know, I'm not coming right out when the count clear anyway, because I'm in relax mode. I went to sleep in that junk watching First Take. You hear me? I'm in the bed. I'm like, sleeping good. I hear a knock at the door. It's like I hear the knock in my dreams. I'm like, sleeping. That junk get louder. I'm like, I open my eyes up. I'm like, I ain't got no cut on my bed on Sussex 2 like how it is on Lawrenceville. I just open my eyes. I'm looking straight at the door. I see a dude like, where is he? What's up? What's up, family? I'm over here now, family.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.